Diner was Barry Levinson's first film from 1982. This is it's a nice film. It's a pleasant sort of film. It is not really the best film of 1982. I wouldn't even call it maybe even 10 best, but it's very enjoyable. It is kind of an ensemble piece. Like everyone that's in it later went on to do much bigger things. Back in 1982, there was the biggest film critic in all of America, aside from Roger Ebert, was Pauline Kael, and her, like Roger Ebert, she was able to make or break a film within one review, and apparently it was her glowing review of Diner that really propelled it into the mainstream. And because of her, everyone that's in it, and Barry Levinson himself, who wrote and directed it, have all gone on to do great things. So, the movie stars Mickey Rourke, Daniel Stern, Kevin Bacon, Steve Guttenberg, Paul Reiser, Tim Daly, and Ellen Barkin. The thing that I always liked about Diner was it's kind of like, it's a little bit like an all-male version of Friends. We all know and love the TV show Friends, and yeah, it's basically an all-male version of it, but it takes place in the late 1950s instead of the 90s and 2000s. And of course, as I said, it's all guys. But it's very well done. Okay, each of the six men, it's usually five, and Paul Reiser, he's only sometimes with the gang. They are often they're often very immature people. Like they're of college age, well, just fresh out of college, and they all have a very different personalities, very different views. They're not just cardboard cutouts of other people. And as I said, they're very mature, mostly towards women. To them, women, it's just an unseen, very taboo, well, maybe not taboo, but it's the undiscovered country to them. Yeah, like there's this one scene where Daniel Stern, he's married to Ellen Barkin, and he loses his cool on her because she plays one of his records and doesn't put it back in the proper spot. I hate to say it, but I can kind of relate to that scene because I have a massive movie collection, and I hate it whenever it's not placed back in the action section under the H's, or it's not placing the dramas under the G's. Yeah, it's one of those kinds of things. But yep, all these men, even though adulthood is really creeping up on them, they always had the diner. It takes place in Baltimore, and there's this one little diner that they just love to go to. They love the food, they love the people that work there, and they just talk the night away about the most meaningless things. I have friends like that too, but of course I don't really talk them well, of course we yak for hours and hours, but yeah, sometimes I have to I have to go a little bit before the sun comes up, per se. And yeah, a lot of the dialogue in this, it's very original, it's very well done. Really, the only thing that I thought was a bit of a problem with this was the individual chemistry between, not between them, but none of these characters, well, maybe Mickey Rourke is really the only exception to this. They don't really grow up. The immaturity kind of stays in Arrested Development. Yes, the movie is very enjoyable, there's lots of memorable scenes, but aside from Mickey Rourke, there's not really much of any changes that happen between between anyone. Like, I mean, like individually, that is. Because they stayed the same, I was just expecting more of a growth. And when characters grow, it's always good whenever you see characters grow. I always like that. But Diner, on the other hand, that doesn't happen, so I can't give this a perfect score like I wanted to, even though it is a very enjoyable, nice sort of film. I'm gonna have to give Diner 3.5 stars out of 4.